Hello and welcome back to Flight Sim World. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. This is the second part of the Spanish Job DLC. We are still on the first mission. Last time out we took off from somewhere in Ireland. Where did we take off from in Ireland? I don't know. And we had some ATC instructions to stay clear of the Class D airspace, which we did so. Then we climbed up to currently 6,600 feet, or flight level 66 as we now have it, and we're flying in towards the coast of England, or it could be the coast of Wales, but I think it might be the coast of... Yeah, it's... Right.
Golf Tango Tango, Roger, thank you. I've been in touch with Valley. They're happy for you to remain on this frequency and cross above the Valley AIAA at or above altitude 6,500 feet. Roger.
At or above altitude 6,500 feet as we cross Valley. Golf Tango Tango.
Golf Tango Tango, read back correct. For Valley, please squawk 7402.
Squawk 7402. Golf Tango Tango. 740. Oh, come on. 7402. What's going on? Why is that not happening? Yes, I know. 7402. No. Come on. 7402. There we go.
7402. Golf Tango Tango.
I suppose because I was putting in a four-digit code every time, it was getting confused. That's the problem with head tracking. That is the problem with head tracking. But anyway, so we're going over the AIAA, which is the Area of Intense Aerial Activity, which is basically, because it's an RAF base, they have a lot of training going on in the valley below us. So that's what that is. So we've got to maintain or be above 6,500 feet, which we are. We're at flight level 66. Now, interestingly enough, it shouldn't be telling us 6,500 feet. We should be given a flight level right now. So that is one thing that I will say that I feel is incorrect, because the transition altitude in the UK is 6,000 feet, which means that above 6,000 feet we should be given a flight level.
6,500 feet until we're clear. Otherwise, we'll be contacted by Valley Radar.
Yeah, if Valley Radar contacts us, we're in trouble. You do not want to mess with the RAF. So we're going to, unfortunately, remain in the clouds at this point in time, and we're going to run the rest of this mission today. So this is still the first part of the Spanish Job DLC. So this is a DLC that covers an entire journey from Ireland to England, and then hopping into a different aircraft, flying all the way over to Spain, and then back in to Cardiff. I think the final leg is Cardiff, or from Cardiff we've got to head back up to is it Newton? Perhaps. I'm not entirely sure, but it's a very long setup. I think I said in the last video it's something like is it 7 hours 10 minutes or something like that, or 7 hours 50 minutes. It is a long journey, a long DLC, plenty of missions. So I want to see exactly what I get. So we are now coming over the coast of Wales, not England. England's just there. That's England. So we're just coming in over the coast of Wales, and as I said, RAF Valley. Should I stick my head out the window, see what happens? That way you guys can see. That's one advantage of head tracking, is being able to do stuff like that for you guys to be able to see. I could even stick my head like right over the roof, out of the roof, I think. No, I don't have that. I don't have the height set to stick my head out the roof. That's okay. So yes, we are continuing along, squawking 7402. Let's actually change our course now. Ooh, not do that. And we're going to change our course over to, let's see. Probably 141. probably a decent enough course for us. So we're going to head 141. Continue along that route. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go 136, bring ourselves a little bit closer to the route. So 136, and then we'll go back to 141 momentarily on the heading. And what I'm doing is I'm following that line there. Those lines that have been plotted for me on the waypoints. Let's do that. And then I will go back to 141. Fantastic. Right. Still maintaining flight level 666 or 67, flight level 67 as it were. Now, barometric pressure is standard now, standard atmospheric pressure, although when we took off the barometric pressure was standard anyway, which is 29902 or QNH 1013, which is in millibars. Now Welsh Pool, we'll have to set up Welsh Pool, and we'll set up a course on it as well. But for now we're going to fly as it's instructing us to do so. And we should be clearing the airspace of RF Valley in about a minute, I think. A minute or two. I can't remember how big the airspace is. In fact, let's have a look at the message, or the airspace just above it. And if you look at charts, the charts will actually have this airspace on there, and you can see there is a lot of airspace, and it'll tell you what the upper limits are of said airspace. Of course, if you want to understand the charts a little bit more, then do go check out my videos, the Ground Up Advanced Flight Tutorials, that series, if you want to learn a bit more about these charts, which, yeah, I think I've done a decent enough job on there. At least it will give you guys an idea if you're a little bit unfamiliar with all of that. And in fact, it will give you an idea right from basics if you're completely new to flight sims or flying in general. Maybe you're a pilot who wants to, somebody who wants to what do you call it, become a pilot or something, and want to do a private pilot's license, so on and so forth, then this might give you a little bit more of an idea. There's our aircraft, Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango. Or as we go on our call sign, we don't have to have the Romeo Victor part, we can just go Golf Tango Tango. Once we've established, that is. Once they know who we are. On the initial call, always give your full call sign. And because we are a general aviation aircraft, we're not with a company or anything, we don't have anything like United or Speedbird or what do you call it, Spirit Wings or anything like that, KLM. We don't have any of that. We have to give them our registration, which is Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango. But once we've had that initial call to anyone, so currently we're on 124.6, which is London information. Once we've had that initial call, it's absolutely fine, and then they can shorten it as well, so they'll call us Golf Tango Tango and we can respond Golf Tango Tango because they know who we are. But once we head over to the next frequency, we'll have to get onto somebody else's air traffic, so we will have to contact them and go Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango is at this flight level doing whatever we were instructed to do. Flying into more clouds. Unfortunately, I can't dip below the cloud layer at this moment in time because we have been instructed to remain above it, and I cannot go above 7,500 feet anyway. So if you look up, those clouds do continue for a little bit. But we are going quite nicely in and out of the clouds, which gives a nice view of true sky, and that's really lovely. I was hoping we'd just break out the clouds there. In fact, no, here we go, we're breaking out. Fantastic, and there's the valley below us. Doesn't it look nice? Doesn't that look lovely? That's England out there. This is Wales. That's England out there. I think that's the river. No, actually, is that England? I think so. Let's actually bring it up on a map. Let's just find out. No, it's all Wales. Wow, it's all Wales. We're on the other side. I got that wrong. I thought we were coming in that way. I didn't realise we're coming in that way. Alright. So England, actually, that is England. Out there, that's all England. Up that way. I should have recognised that because it's RAF Valley, not RAF, it's not the RAF Brecon. Yeah, because that would be, yes, that's Valley and then that's Brecon. Wow, that's poor thinking from me. You can see I'm not used to flying in these areas. I think the last time I flew out this way was the very first... Was it the very first video in Flight Sim World? I flew out this way and I was... Yes, I remember flying through this area, perhaps slightly further north, towards Snowdonia and then into the valley. Yeah, I do remember doing that. So of course we're going into Welshpool. That makes total sense. So in this video we're going to be landing at Welshpool, which shouldn't take us any more than 20 more minutes, I would assume. Maybe 25. Which is rather nice. So again, things that I can already pick up from this DLC is that we do have a bit of traffic, or at least assumed traffic, and we do have to tune in ATC frequencies, which is realistic, and I like that. I do like that. And of course the ATC readbacks, it's actual humans because of the nature of it being missions.
I can descend now if I want. Golf, Tango,
Yeah, I was going to say we need to tell them.
Golf Tango Tango, thank you. Squawk 1177.
Squawking 1177, Golf Tango Tango. 1177.
1177, Golf Tango Tango.
Right, let's get a descent going. I want to descend down to just a nice gentle descent. I said gentle descent. Come on. I'll descend down to, I'll say, I'll keep that descent going actually. That looks like a good descent rate for me. See, again, this is all on trim. I'm not doing anything aside from that. I'm going to change my course ever so slightly. So I'm not pushing the stick down or anything. I'm using trim controls and throttle controls here to maintain a steady descent. And you can see I'm still holding the speed of around 160 knots, which is exactly what I want to do. 1177 is the squawk that London Information gave us before, and obviously we had to squawk a different code for, what was it, 7702? Was that what we were squawking? No, 70 something. I can't even remember. But we were squawking a different code, obviously, when we were passing over RAF Valley, because they wanted us to squawk because we were in their airspace, but they were happy for us to remain on London Information's frequency, and they would have contacted us on 124.6 had we crossed into their restricted airspace. So you can see the forests down here, and we're continuing a really nice descent. We are 33 miles from Welshpool, which is where we are landing, and that's the VOR in anyway. But you can see how easy that is. Now, my hands are again off the controls. This is just doing it all itself. Obviously, the autopilot's keeping my heading where I want it, but speed wise I'm controlling that, and the trim, I have the descent rate is under my control as well, but I've got it trimmed perfectly so I can have my hands off the controls, which is perfect. Now once we descend below 4,000 feet, I think I'll bring my propeller up full rich again. I mean, sorry, propeller up to full, and I'll bring the mixture up to full rich, possibly when we get below 3,000 feet. So that's my idea on that. I assume we don't have an instrument approach into Welshpool, so we're going to be doing a VFR flight. So odds are we're going to be joining in on a circuit, potentially a right-hand circuit. I feel maybe the one that we join in on. So we might join in on a right-hand circuit and then land at Welshpool once we've done one circuit around the airport. Landing speed today, I feel like we can land at a good 70 knots if possible. So we've got to basically shed half our speed. But this aircraft it's very easy to shed half the speed on it, so not a problem there for us. Our descent is very nice. I'm going to just reduce the power ever so slightly again, as our descent rate has dropped from 500 to 400 feet per minute. So I'm just going to drop the power ever so slightly. Again, I'm not playing with the trim at this moment in time. I'm using the power, and this is something that I taught in my series, my tutorial series. I did teach this in lesson number 3 or 4. About using the power to adjust climb rates and maintain the correct climb rate and speed. So I think I'm going to descend, like I said, to 4,000 feet, then I'll put the prop up back to maximum. Very nice. We've got a decent amount of time. How far are we? 25 miles? Yeah, 25 miles from Welshpool. In fact, I think I might just continue the descent. At 500 foot per minute, 160 knots. That's 160 nautical miles in an hour, which means that we're going to be doing 80 nautical miles in half an hour, 40 nautical miles in 15 minutes. That's going to be done in just over 10... It's just going to be about 10 minutes. At 500 foot per minute, in 10 minutes, we're going to be... So it's going to take us 8 minutes to get down to ground level at 500 foot per minute. So no, I'm just going to continue this descent. That's it. That's my descent profile sorted until I reach... I'm probably going to say 2,000 feet. I don't know what the landing altitude of this runway is, so I don't know what the aerodrome elevation is, or the threshold elevation. So that's something that I would have liked to see charts. I would have really liked to see charts in Flight Sim World. That's one thing I think they really need to have on their DLCs. In the mission briefing, have a chart just showing us a little bit of information. Doesn't have to have everything. Just need to see the map, where we're supposed to go, you know, any area, any airspace that we've got to follow, and perhaps a little bit about our destination airport would be ideal. Right, we're at 4,000. So I'm going to start bringing that propeller up, nice and slowly. Oops, not that. There you go, propellers back to maximum. Now I can bring the throttles down. As you can see, we're leveling off because of the propeller. Obviously we had more power there, so I'm just going to retrim. There you go, ever so slightly once again, and we are back to where we need to be on our descent. How easy is that? It's fantastic. Right, we're clearing the mountain ranges now. Or it'd help if I was looking at the right place. But yeah, we're clearing mountain ranges now, which is fantastic. And we're continuing. We're not descending anymore. Let's sort that out. There we go. So obviously now I have to have a retrim for the whole new propeller configuration. So I was trimmed in for a certain configuration. Now I have to retrim to ensure that I have another configuration done. Now what I'm going to do is that the airport isn't too far ahead of us, 16 miles, so I'm going to start reducing power even more, potentially slow down to about 140 knots. And continue to use the trim to maintain a descent. There you go, you can see I'm just gently slowing the aircraft down whilst trying to maintain a roughly 500 foot per minute rate of descent. Again, I'm not using the controls to push forward on the stick. I'm using the trim of the aircraft to control this. Now I'm looking for the airport ahead of us. It's 14 miles ahead of us, but I'm not entirely sure where. We've reached 3,000 feet. Going to start bringing that mixture all the way up. That's the mixture, and yep, that's maximum. Right, now I'm going to level out and slow this aircraft down. We're at 2,000. Let's get to 2,500 feet. I'm going to level out so I can actually see this airport and work out exactly what the runway is and where I'm supposed to be landing. Just a bit more, please. Just a smidge more. And autopilot hold in. There we go. 2,500 feet. 140 knots as I wanted to be at. So you can see I've slowed down at the same time as the descent. Okay, there was a little bit of a mistake in the descent, I will admit. Is that the airport ahead of me? I see something. No, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure at all. But we are getting there. We are certainly getting there. We're very, very close to landing and finishing the first leg of this Spanish the Spanish Job DLC, where we are in the Spanish Job DLC. The first thing we've got to do is fly from Ireland to Wales. 9 miles dead ahead. I cannot see the airport, which is slightly concerning. Is that it? I remember landing at this airport before. Isn't the runway runway 4? I think the runway is runway 4. Alright, so you know what? I'm going to descend now to 2,000 feet. Get that descent running once again. Let's descend to 2,000 feet. Whilst watching that speed, of course. We've still got plenty of fuel. This aircraft is a very nice aircraft. Right, so let's figure out what the runway is. As a matter of fact, we should be able to do this. There you go. Now I know what the runway is. This is a military airport.
On that information, Golf Tango Tango.
Golf Tango Tango, go ahead.
Golf Tango Tango, 5 miles to run to Welshpool, free calling Welshpool radio 128.0.
Golf Tango Tango, roger. Free call 128.0, squawk 7000.
Squawk 7000 and free call. Golf Tango Tango, thanks.
Right, let's squawk 7000. Squawking 7000 and free calling Welsh Pool.
Welsh Pool Radio. Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango, 3 miles west of the field. Request airfield information to land.
Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango, Welsh Pool Radio, runway new 04, left-hand circuit, QNH 1013, no traffic in the circuit.
04 left hand in use, QNH 1013, no traffic to affect, will join left base runway 04 to land. Golf Romeo Victor Tango Tango.
Golf Tango Tango, roger, report left base 04.
Will go, Golf Tango Tango. Great, I don't need to run overhead. I'll descend to 1,000 feet.
Let's just, yep, I was going to say let's bring ourselves down now. Let's get that descent going, and we've now slowed down to 120 knots, which is correct for me. Down to 1,000 feet to join the circuit. That's runway 4 is our runway of choice. Which is absolutely fine. Start reducing power. We'll get over this hill and we should be able to land this aircraft pretty nicely, I hope. Just really bring back the power. I'm getting a good rate of descent going now. And I think he said left-hand circuit, didn't he?
Golf Tango Tango, left base 04 to land.
Golf Tango Tango, report final 04.
Report final, Golf Tango Tango.
Right, I need to know where the airport is though. So at this point, I'm going to switch off the autopilot. Switch off the autopilot. Do this myself now. Right, that's the airport, I believe, right above us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a left-hand base.
Golf Tango Tango.
No, we're not final. We're not fine. We are not
Golf
final.
Tango Tango, roger, wind 010 at 02 knots.
We are not on final. We are doing a circuit. Good gosh. Oops. That was me trying to click on something at the same time. We are not on final. We are doing a circuit. I repeat, we are doing a circuit. But because there's no traffic, I'm just going to make this a nice, simple circuit. And I am going to slow the aircraft down in this circuit.
I think I'm approaching the wrong runway.
Don't worry. We are just going around. There you go. Just one circuit, don't worry. I want to get a decent final because I don't know the area as well. Right. Now this aircraft at lower speeds isn't brilliant. I'm going to bring some flaps out. Yeah, this aircraft is not fantastic at the... Let's try and trim this up to help me out here. Right, where's the runway? There. No, that's a road. Don't land on the road. Whatever you do, do not land on the road. I'm trying to find the runway. Oh, this aircraft is... At slow speeds, this aircraft is a nightmare. Right, I need to do that. Right, so what I'm going to do is not 60 knots. No, I don't want 60. Let's try and sort that out. Yeah, 70 knots. That's better. Right, so I'm just going to go a couple of miles away and then we're going to turn in and we will land the aircraft. It's actually a really simple approach. Nothing special. But it just gives us enough to sort ourselves out at the speed that we're going. Right. And I think... Should we turn in now? Let's turn in now. And an aircraft like this can really, really take a bank. Really can. There's the airport. That's what I wanted. So at least I can see it.
Full flap set.
Thank you. Alright. So not the greatest on coming into land, but it's alright. It's because I couldn't actually see what I was doing. Whoa. Don't go white over white. We're as high as a kite. Come on. Nice and smooth. Nice and smooth. So this aircraft is great when it's up at speed, but when it's in the low speed range, it's a problem. It's a handful to fly. Get that descent going. Just clear these trees. Those trees should not be there. Again, look at that. It's directly in the glide. So I've got to clear the trees and then ditch the plane. Trees cleared, ditch plane. Come on, ditch plane. Ditch plane. There we go, we're down and on the brakes. Flaps up.
Parking is at the very end of runway 04.
Alright, so let's get to the end of the runway. Alright, so we're down. Did nobody check and go, hang on a minute, those trees shouldn't exist? Yes, great DLC so far. I think I've enjoyed the flight. It's a flight I wouldn't have thought of doing. Especially because I don't have that ability to have ATC in the way we do. But, you know, having trees like this, I know it's a very tree area. It's, you know, it's a very densely forested area or dense woodlands. But you wouldn't have trees literally right there at the end of the runway. You'd have a couple of hundred, maybe 200 yards or so. Let's take this taxiway. And that brings us pretty nicely to the end of the first part of this. It's not really this taxiway I want, but I'm going to take it anyway. I should be taking the other taxiway. But it's okay, there's no traffic. So it's absolutely fine for me to fly
Golf,
this way.
Tango Tango vacated at 04 via Bravo, taxiing to the fuel pumps.
Golf Tango Tango, roger. We'll send someone down.
Thanks very much. Golf Tango Tango.
Fantastic, right, let's now just park up to the fuel pumps. And that's the end of the first leg. Which is lovely. Come on, move up. Move up, move up, move up, move up, move up, move up. There we go.
I'll park
and
up here and grab some fuel.
Parked.
Then I can get on my way to Cardiff.
Right, next stop is Cardiff. Fantastic. So that brings me to the end of this video and the first run, or the first leg of the Spanish job. So you can see we were in the air for almost 1 hour. I've got 7 hours now in single engine pistons. Cross the Irish Sea and land at Welshpool completed. So fantastic. So if I press continue, you'll see that going to this, we've done this first one. The next one is going to be going to Cardiff, which is going to be a 40-minute mission. I will probably do that all in one video, and then the 50-minute one I'll do in 2, and then we'll move on from there and we'll see exactly what we can do. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Flight Sim World. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know what you think. Please don't give me any spoilers. If you've picked up this DLC and you've done all the missions, please don't give me any spoilers. I want to see for myself exactly what we have. This is going to take me a little bit of time to get onto video, otherwise I would have probably done that all in a couple of days. had I had the time. So the next one we're going to be doing is flying low. So don't forget to make sure that you tune in for that. And if you're watching this on Twitch, make sure you do follow me on Twitch as well, because these videos do go out on Twitch as well as YouTube. Last but not least, do support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively, massively appreciated. And of course, thank you to Dovetail Games for providing me this DLC to review and have a look at. So far, I think it's alright. So far, it's alright. It was a nice, interesting mission. There wasn't much going on in terms of other traffic, but I did have to, you know, work with transponder frequencies, had to work with different radio frequencies, as well as different navigation frequencies, and have an awareness of the airspace that I was in. Thank you very much for watching once again, and I will see you guys next time in Flight Sim World.